Hello and welcome to Radnor 411. My name is Jim Doling and I'll be your host. I'd like to start off this episode by giving you a tour of the Radnor Shire Room, the RTV control room, and to show you what it takes to broadcast a meeting. There are an average of 14 public meetings a month that take place in the Radnor Shire Room. Each of these meetings is broadcast live as well as recorded for replay on RTV. Inside the Radnor Shire Room, there are 5 remote control cameras that capture the meeting. Each commissioner's seat is equipped with a microphone and a monitor for viewing plans and presentations. There's a podium for public participation as well as presentations. The podium is equipped with a laptop for PowerPoint presentations as well as a DVD player and a VCR. Next to the podium is a table where presenters can place plans or photographs which a ceiling-mounted camera displays for all viewers. In the Radnor Shire Room, there are 2 projectors which show the audience members the plans and presentations. Welcome to the RTV control room. In here is where you'll find all the equipment needed to broadcast a public meeting. Among the equipment are 2 wireless handheld microphones, a DVD recorder, a DVD player VCR combo, a hard drive system which captures the meetings for a replay, a computer called the Compix which is used for the graphics, an audio mixer, a video switcher, a remote control joystick to control each individual camera, and monitors. There is a piece called the Crestron, which is a touchscreen panel which allows you to choose the source you want and the destination you want it to go to. The last piece of equipment is a PC computer which allows us to record on the hard drive as well as make a copy for the video on demand. So now you know how we broadcast the public meetings. Thank you for touring the Radnor Shire Room and the RTV control room. Up next is Bill White of the Finance Department.
Thanks, Jim, and here's what's going on in the Finance Department this month. With this being the beginning of the year, right now we are working on finalizing the 2010 financial audit and putting together our converted financial statements. A lot of people don't understand that, but the budget as it exists on an annual basis is done on a cash basis method of accounting, and really all that means is you recognize revenue when it gets deposited into the bank, and on the expense side, it's recorded as an expense when the check's actually cut. The difference is, and the more accurate form of accounting is called the accrual method, and that is when revenues are recognized when incurred, or expenditures are recognized when incurred. So you have payables and receivables and accrual type entries. So we're working on taking our cash statements for 2010 and converting them to incorporate all the various accruals that existed at the end of the year, so that on December 31st we can create balance sheets for our various funds. We can create consolidated balance sheets for all of our funds as is required by generally accepted accounting principles. So we're working on finalizing that. We're working with our independent auditing firm, which is Larson Allen. This will be the third financial year they've audited the township's records, so we're working with them on that right now. Additionally, with this again being the beginning of the year, the 2011 real estate tax bills will be going out if you haven't gotten them already. Again, keep in mind that the bill you're getting from the township represents only the township portion. I've found in my short time here that since so many different entities bill for real estate taxes, that sometimes it's confused that the township is billing for more than what just the township. But the schools bill and collect their real estate taxes separately, as does the county. So the bill you're receiving is just for the township, and that comes back to the township and is used for all the services that the township provides. Those being, generally speaking, police, safety services in general, because we do work with the Radnor Fire Company and Bryn Mawr Fire Company and Broomall Fire Company. We provide contributions to them, which they then turn provide services back to the residents. Police, we have our full-time police department here. Then on the service side, there's public works, park and recreation, park maintenance, as well as sanitary and storm sewer and other infrastructure type repair, maintenance, and improvement. And the list of services that are provided by those various departments is quite lengthy. The Radnor Township does an excellent job of providing a wide range of services. So the real estate taxes that you're being billed for by the township are going to pay for those. They are not paying for schools, and they are not paying for county services. So something to keep in mind. Additionally, a couple of the projects that we're working on right now is based on recommendations from previous year's audits, as well as recommendations from best practices and the 2010 Citizens Budget and Advisory Committee. We are working on creating a permanent Citizens Audit Review and Financial Advisory Committee. The primary differences between what we're working on now and what was done in 2010 is 2010 had a specific term, which was 1 year, and a specific scope as was defined in the resolution. The Citizens Committee that we're looking to put together now is going to be more broad. Its intention is going to be permanent, so not something that only lasts a year. And they'll initially be charged with being the public's ear when it comes to audit results. So our independent auditors, when they have their report completed, will report it not only to the administration and the Board of Commissioners here at the Township, but they will also report it to this Citizens Advisory Committee. So it adds a layer of transparency in that end. So we're working on finalizing that. Additionally, they will serve also as a Financial Advisory Committee. And there's already some very important projects that are there that they can kind of take the ball with and keep a pulse on. A lot of those being the recommendations that were made by the Citizens Budget and Advisory Committee that did their work and submitted their report in 2010. So the new committee can kind of keep a scorecard of where the township's at on making sure that either we are or we are not doing those recommendations and what the results were, so they can be measured and monitored. And again, that'll be the fact that there's a public input there just adds another layer of transparency, which is always good, especially seeing that we're the township and we're providing service back to our stakeholders, which are those who are paying taxes and using the services here. Another project that we are working on is taking a look at our purchasing manual. Well, currently a manual does not exist. There are some general policies and procedures on how the township buys goods and services. We're looking to create a more comprehensive manual which dives a little bit into the actual processes. Right now it's very labor intensive and paper intensive. And we're hoping to take advantage of some technologies that exist within our current software and within our current abilities on the IT side to streamline some of those electronically. So we're looking into that. The realistic, whether or not it's realistic that we'll have this done in the first month or so is still to be determined, but it's something that's a priority to try to make us more efficient in how we do our business. So the purchasing manual will bring all of the purchasing policies and procedures together into one document, and it'll also define more efficient ways to complete those processes. So those are a couple of things we're working on. There's some larger projects and some daily projects that come up every day that we also work on, completing the payroll bi-weekly, doing the disbursements list, which the Board of Commissioners approve at each of their meetings. Those types of things are worked on every day, as well as the accounting side and the reporting side and special projects and special requests from other departments. So that's what's going on in the Finance Department this month. If you've got any questions or you have any concerns, please look us up on the website or give us a call. I'd be more than happy to try to get any questions that you have answered, and we'll look for you back here next month. Thank you.
In our next segment, you'll get to meet Sergeant Joe McGuire, who explained about our Community Emergency Response Team, a great program that the police department has to offer.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Joe McGuire of the Radnor Township Police Department. I'm here to tell you a little bit about our Community Emergency Response Team, or CERT as it's known. CERT is a group of people, citizens, ordinary citizens like yourself, that come together and help the rest of the community in the event of a big disaster. CERT was first implemented in 1985 by the Los Angeles Fire Department when they realized that there would be a need for people to take care of themselves in case of a major catastrophe. They implemented this program, it was successful for them, and now it's spread across the country and it's here in Radnor. What we do is we teach you some very basic life-saving techniques such as first aid and CPR. You can extinguish small fires. We teach you how to manage traffic, and we help you do some light search and rescue to help your neighbors. All this in helping your neighbors in your neighborhood and your community. If you're interested in this program, please contact the Radnor Police Department at 610-688-0503 and either ask for myself, Sergeant Joe McGuire, or Sergeant Chris Flanagan. Thank you.
And now we travel outside to see what the Public Works Department is doing with some of the small trees in the township.
Hi, my name's Mike Stacy. I'm with the Radnor Township Parks Maintenance. I'm the assistant supervisor, and today we're doing some small tree removal. The first thing we do when we get to the job is we establish a safety zone with the signs, the cones, the proper equipment. We make sure the guys have safety glasses, boots, a vest, earplugs, and everything they need to do everything safe. In the background here, we're taking down a small oak tree. And what basically we do is we have a man that goes up in the tree off a ladder. He's tied in with secured ropes, and we just limb by limb cut it off till it gets to the point where we could handle it from dropping it from the ground. The wood chips are shredded. We recycle the wood chips. They're used in the flower beds for mulch. They're used in some tot lots. The wood we haul down to Skunk Hollow, and it's there for the residents to take for firewood if they like. And then after that, you know, we do whatever we can to recycle things. So what you see in the background is pretty much what we do in these months. In January and February is do tree work when it's inappropriate to work on the school grounds and the parks because of the conditions of the weather. So, thank you.
Up next is Bill Martin, the Assistant Township Manager, who will explain about the local services tax.
Hi, my name is Bill Martin. As you may know, I'm the Assistant Township Manager. One of my responsibilities is enforcing and collecting local business taxes. Today I'd like to talk to you briefly about the local services tax. If you engage in any kind of occupation in Radnor Township, you are subject to local services tax. The local services tax replaced the old emergency municipal services tax in 2008. As part of that replacement, we also instituted regulations and new forms that explain how the tax is enforced. And if you're an employer, your responsibility is to collect and remit that tax to the township on a quarterly basis. Those returns are due April 30th, July 31st, October 31st, and January 30th or 31st. Each year, you're required to do that quarterly for all your employees and remit those to the township. The other important factor we're meant to know about the local services tax is that anyone that engages in an occupation is subject to it. So for example, if you have an LLC or a sole proprietor, while you may not have employees, you are still responsible to remit and file on your behalf. And in so doing, it'll be $13 a quarter for you as an individual. If you're an employee and you're on a regular payroll, it basically works out to $1 per week or $52 for the year. So depending on the number of weeks in the quarter, in the payroll quarter, it could fluctuate between $12 and $14 a quarter. This tax goes into our general fund and generates about $1 million. And it goes into the general fund to cover local services, which is why it's called local services tax. In other words, your street lights, the roads, paving, police services, support that we give to the fire company. All that goes into the general fund and covers local services. And it's one of the important revenues that we collect for the township to help offset real estate taxes. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you next time.
In the next segment, Larry Taltone of the Community Development Department walks us through a rental housing inspection.
Hi, my name is Larry Taltone. I'm an inspector at Radnor Township. One of the functions that we do as building inspectors at Radnor Township is inspection of rental housing units. One important component of that is making sure that building numbers are in place. That's important for 911 and emergency response teams to respond to a unit correctly. Now we're going to go inside. One of the things we do when we look at an inspection in the bathroom is make sure that we have hot and cold water So we run the water. We look to make sure that there's no leaks in the trap. So we're pretty good here. The other thing that we do is requirement under the ICC code is to make sure that the ground fault circuit interrupter, the GFCI outlet, works. This GFCI tester, first of all, the way that it's lit up tells me that it was wired correctly. When I press this black button, it reacts in the same way as if someone's in here drying their hair and there's water in this bowl here. And it should shut off in very, very fast. And it does. And that means that it's wired correctly and someone will be relatively safe if they did drop a curling iron or something in while there was water here. Another requirement is to make sure that we have adequate smoke detectors. Smoke detectors are required in the immediate vicinity outside of bedrooms. We have one here and it's located correctly. I'm pressing the test button and it does enunciate. They should be either mounted on a ceiling or no more than 12 inches down from the ceiling. The way fire works is it goes, or smoke rather, it goes up, hits the ceiling and it works its way back down. That could be 20 minutes any further than the 12 inches. Additionally, smoke detectors are required inside bedrooms. And again, pointing out the outlets that are required. We have adequate outlets here. Windows have to open. These windows actually open from side to side, so we don't have to do the test on them. But if the windows were opened up horizontally, or vertically, rather, they would be required to, once you lift them up, to stay there on their own. And the purpose for that is so that they don't come down and smash someone's hands. Again, we're in the kitchen, and again, we'll check the plumbing to make sure that there's no leaks, that we have hot and cold water, and that the trap is in place and not leaking. And for many people don't understand, and the reason for the trap is the purpose of the trap is that water lays in this little U upside this little U section, and that prevents sewer gases from coming back and smelling up your house. And that one does not leak. Again, this in the kitchen area here, it's required that within 4 feet of a water source in the kitchen, along the kitchen counter area, that the GFCI be in place. We're going to try this GFCI as we did the one in the bathroom. And it does work. We'll reset it. We're good. So this is the end of the inspection for the rental housing unit.
The last segment of this episode is brought to you by the Parks and Recreation Department. Here's Tammy Cohen to tell you about all the exciting programs the Township has to offer.
It's basketball season. Register now for the Youth Hoops League and the Youth Hoops Clinic. The Radnor Township Parks and Recreation Department has a number of activities to keep you warm this winter while it's cold outside. At Radnor Activity Center at Sulpizio Gymnasium, we'll have 2 holiday break camps, a basketball camp and a futsal camp. On Monday, January 17th, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, we'll have a Hoops from the Heart basketball clinic that will take place at Cabrini College. There will be youth wrestling on Saturday mornings at Radnor High School and a youth theater program on Saturdays at Ithan Elementary. Additional winter programs offered by the Radnor Township Parks and Recreation Department include indoor tennis for all ages. It includes preschool ages. We also have a preschool junior soccer program, play ball, and 5-star sports. There's also cardio, core, and more for adults and fit and well for adults. And a new impact sports program, a multi-sport program that will take place on Saturdays. For those of you wondering, how do I register for spring sports such as lacrosse, baseball, and softball, and t-ball, please log on to www.radnorsports.com, the community sports organization's website, for more information. The Radnor Township Parks and Recreation Department will also be hosting a chess tournament at Radnor Middle School on Sunday, March 20th. During spring break, we'll have 2 big camps that we'll be offering, a soccer camp and a chess camp. Babysitters training will take place in May for teens. For those of you looking for summer employment, working with the day camps, working with the summer tot lot program, please log on to www.radnor.com and click to the drop-down bar under Parks and Recreation in the Volunteer and Employment section. There you'll find an application which you can complete and return to our department. As I mentioned, we're currently accepting those applications, so you'll want to get those to us right away in early 2011. For those parents out there who are looking to register their children for summer camps and looking for the summer information will be available as of Monday, May 2nd. That's when we'll officially kick off our summer registration. Thank you for joining us in the Radnor Township Parks and Recreation Department. We hope to see you soon.
Well, there you have it. Thanks for watching Radnor 411. And remember, RTV is your information station.